Let's settle this. For months now, a particular clip of Hayao Miyazaki has been making the rounds. It's treated like gospel by the anti-AI art crowd, often wielded as their holy condemnation. Miyazaki says AI art is soulless. What they don't tell you, and what many conveniently edit or ignore, is what Miyazaki was actually reacting to. Let me describe it clearly, and you can verify it yourself. He was shown a 3D experiment in which a disembodied, twitching torso with no head and no clear anatomy slowly crawls toward the camera in glitchy, low-res fashion, like a creature from Silent Hill rendered in PS2 pre-alpha graphics. It was a grotesque, malformed puppet. Miyazaki looked genuinely disturbed. He called it an insult to life itself. Fair. It looked like a failed horror project. The scene was awkward. He wasn't looking at a painting, a film, or even a coherent animation. He was reacting as a sensitive, emotional elder to a nightmarish experiment thrown at him without context or consent, and his reaction was human. But here's the twist: the anti-AI art crowd doesn't want you to notice. This has nothing to do with today's generative AI tools. Nothing. Not the art models, not the video synthesis, not voice work, not style transfer. It was years ago, during a completely unrelated robotics digital media presentation. The work shown wasn't from an AI diffusion model or generative artist. It was a crude physics rig built to test motion response. It had no relevance to the current AI art explosion, zero. But if you're part of the anti-AI art community, that's just a detail. And when you're losing ground, details are inconvenient, so they lie, they clip it, recut it, overlay it with modern AI images he never saw. Pretend he was reacting to today's tools, to Mid-Journey, to animated AI portraits, to audio generation, to storytelling synthesis. He wasn't. What's worse is they know this. You don't need to dig deep to find the original footage. But it doesn't serve the narrative. They'd rather rally around the aesthetic of disapproval than confront the reality of what's happening. AI tools are democratizing beauty. They're giving style and control to creators who used to wait years, sometimes lifetimes, for studios, teams, or budgets to greenlight a vision. That's what's truly causing the backlash. Miyazaki's opinion is not the issue. He's allowed to feel disturbed by what he saw. We all would. The issue is the weaponization of his reaction. They want you to believe that because a beloved animation elder was unsettled by a writhing torso, he'd automatically be against every modern creator using generative tools to create compelling art, story, or animation. That is not only a logical fallacy, it's malicious misrepresentation. And even if it weren't, let's be blunt. You don't need the approval of a man born in 1941 to innovate in 2025. He is a master, a legend, but not an oracle, and not infallible. His legacy was built on the very tools that once disturbed those before him: celluloid, digital ink, CG layering. Every generation faces this. Every innovator has been called soulless by those who came before. So what did Miyazaki see? A body horror demo reel with zero artistic framing. What didn't he see? The renaissance of creativity now erupting from hundreds of thousands of people finally free to build worlds, tell stories, and explore aesthetics previously locked behind skill gates and budget walls. They want to gatekeep the term soul. They want to rewrite the footage. But we saw it. We still see it. And we're going to show it, side by side, unedited. Because this is what honesty looks like. Not clips, not outrage bait, not guilt-tripping nostalgia. Truth.
でこれは早く移動するっていうのを学習させたやつなんですね。これ頭を使って移動してるんですけど、基本痛覚とかないし、頭が大事だとかっていう概念がないし、だからもう頭をもう普通の足のように使って移動してるっていう。この動きがとにかく気持ち悪いので、ゾンビゲームの動きに使えるんじゃないかっていう。こういう人工知能を使うと多分人間が想像できない気持ち悪い動きができるんじゃないか。一応こんなことをやっています。実際には
毎朝この頃会わないけど身体障害の友人がいるんですよ。そのハイタッチするんだけど大変なんです。彼の筋肉がこわばってる手と僕の手でこうハイタッチする。 でその彼のことを思い出してね、僕はこれ面白いと思って見ることできないですよ。これを作る人たちは痛みとかそういうものについてね、何も考えないでやってるでしょ。極めて不愉快ですよね。そんなに気持ち悪いものをやりたいなら勝手にやってればいいだけで、僕はこれを自分たちの仕事をつなげたいとは全然思いません。極めて何か生命に対する侮辱を感じます。
これでもほとんど実験なので、
それは分かってます。
その世の中に見せてどうこうってそういうものじゃないんですよ。
それは本当によく分かってるつもりですけど、どこでたどり着きたいですか。
まあ人間が描くのと同じように絵を描く機械
を作りたいんだ。
はい。
地球最後の日が近いって感じですね。それは人間の方が自信がなくなってくるから。
Let's talk about context, not just for the clip, but for the moment in time. Miyazaki wasn't reacting to AI-generated art as we know it today. He wasn't critiquing diffusion models, generative design, or neural storytelling. What he was reacting to was a crude, unsettling animation demo, unrefined, unframed, and dumped on him cold. A malformed, twitching humanoid mass crawling toward the camera, uncanny, broken, lifeless. He was visibly shaken, and so was the room. Now, here's what people never seem to include when weaponizing the clip. He mentions, solemnly, that it reminded him of a disabled friend, a person he clearly respected and held dear. He was confronted with imagery that triggered real emotional pain. Then, without warning, the developers told him their goal was to one day replicate human drawing. Let that sequence land. Show a man something grotesque, dehumanized and alien. Watch him grimace. Then casually say, "We want this to replace you." Of course he recoiled. Of course he was horrified. And to pretend his response was some kind of eternal judgment on all AI art now and forever is dishonest at best, cruel at worst. Even within our own AI creative teams, many have expressed frustration, even sorrow, that this was the first impression one of animation's greats received. That this, not beauty, not utility, not creativity, was how it was framed. This wasn't an artistic prototype. It was a motion study bordering on a tech demo nightmare, dropped in front of a man known for his soul-deep reverence for life, motion, and human connection. It's worth saying aloud, nothing about this was handled well, and you can see that on the faces of the engineers in the room. Look closely. Their eyes dart. Their body language stiffens. They know what just happened. They know this will not reflect well. And time has proven them right. Because that clip, that moment, that failure, has now become the internet's favorite cudgel to bash an entire field of modern creators who had nothing to do with it. The narrative was hijacked, the tools evolved, the artists changed, but the opposition kept waving the same old video. And here's the final truth they never want to say out loud. This was 8 years ago. 8. Do you want to be judged today by your worst draft from a decade ago? Then why should Miyazaki's reaction to a rough pre-AI motion test be used to silence millions of creators finally getting to express themselves in ways they never could before? We don't dismiss his emotion. We honor it by showing the whole story, by acknowledging the pain, the mistake, the awkward rollout, and then moving forward with better work, better ethics, and far better tools. That's not cruelty. That's evolution.